Waterfall versus Agile. Is that really the right question? Allia DeAngelis shares her perspective. Hello, SaaS leaders. Welcome to Swattage, the Software Innovation Lab. If you're new here, my name is Dale Richards. I'm a software innovator from Salt Lake City, Utah, and I love making software that changes the world. I'm interviewing top experts on the cutting edge of SaaS leadership and sharing their insights with you. If you want to foster innovation, cultivate your culture, and disrupt the market with new software products that change the world, start now by subscribing and hitting the bell. So just talk to me. I'll sit up so that your eyes and my eyes and the camera and lens will be about at the same level.
Okay.
And I'm going to do an intro that I'll record at another time. And in fact, the questions that I'll ask you on the final version will not be shot right now. I'll shoot myself and then kind of splice.
I see what you mean.
So we're talking about product management maturity and value measurement specifically.
Yeah.
And if you're talking to a bunch of SaaS leaders, so these are the people that are chief product officers, VPs of product, chief technology officers, or like VPs of software development, who are.
It seems to me that especially as product organizations mature, that there tends to be this flywheel effect of we have more product managers, we have more development capacity, and so we can build more stuff. And as you're building more stuff, you're sort of getting to this peak of this curve of the value that a customer can realize. And if you go over that peak, a lot of times we call it the user happiness peak, where you end up with a complex solution that people have a hard time finding value in. And that's a common problem that product organizations run into as they scale, as they get bigger and bigger, is that there's not as much there's not as much evidence of whether a feature is especially valuable because it's absorbed into the profit of the entire organization. And so to graduate to like a new level of maturity, the product organization needs to get to a point where they're really good at measuring value. An early product organization will know that because they will run out of business if it's not valuable. But a large organization tends to sustain mediocrity because they don't have a really good way of seeing how incrementally valuable each little feature or roadmap is. And so you have to get to a point where you start to create a methodology around figuring out if there's value. And so what I've sort of gravitated toward is that ideally the best way to measure value is something that Simon Sinek will talk about, which is the start with why, and that if you're following a why, you're creating a cult following, and that value will sort of flow in the wake of that movement, or that great product, kind of like an Apple kind of following that people have. But that's a great way of looking at it at a very high level, but to start diving in and figuring out how to what kind of levers are available to you and what kind of lenses are available to figuring out how things are valuable. I've sort of started to divide it into these 5 main categories. Number 1 is what I call vision, which is it's kind of a proxy for that why that Simon Sinek talks about, which is, Martin Luther King had a dream that one day people would be able to sit down and live in peace together or whatever. That was his vision. And he saw something in the future. So every product should have some ideal state that we see in the future that is basically eternal. Like we're always reaching for that thing. We might even get to that state. Like even Martin Luther King's vision is realized from time to time when people do come together and they are in peace. But there's always this friction of pulling out of that state. And so a good vision is something that you're eternally looking for, but it's also very elemental, like the difference between Blockbuster Video and Netflix.
Don't forget that if you want to get the full interview with Allia DeAngelis on adaptability and rewilding agile in the post-COVID era, You can sign up at swattage.com/SaaS Club and join our mailing list for exclusive access to bonus materials not available on this channel. Join us again every Friday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time for more interviews and content right here on Swattage, the Software Innovation Lab. We'll see you next time.